everybody. Welcome back to another seated chair yoga practice, Silver Sneakers style with Maureen and...
Hi everyone, I'm Kayla.
We're from the Philadelphia Protestant Home Wellness and Aquatics Department, and today we're going to work on some seated postures that'll help to open your chest wall, work on your posture, decrease your stress, and get you ready for a really, really great day. All right, so let's start in the seated position. Let's plug the feet down into the earth. Head up, shoulders back. Your core is engaged, but it shouldn't feel rigid. Hands on the legs. Let's take in some deep breaths. Close the eyes. Let go of anything that does not serve you. As you take in your next deep breath, take that breath down into the lowest portion of your lungs, clearing away the cobwebs. 2020 has certainly been a stressful year, but we're going to teach you methods to help release some of the stress that you may be feeling and to face each day with newfound confidence. Breathing in warm colors like oranges and reds and yellows. Exhaling cool colors like blues and violets and grays. Let's slowly now drop the ear towards the shoulder. We worked on this in the last video, so we won't spend a whole lot of time on the neck mobilization, but just to get things moving, and let's take it to the other side. Try to keep that ear tracking right over the shoulder. Come on back to the center. Drop your chin, just your chin, to the chest. Wake up that thyroid. And then let's take it all the way back up into the sky. Come on back to the neutral position and slowly pivot the head on the neck as we look over the shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall. I want to remind you that if by chance you don't tune in to our TV channels, our in-house channels of this presentation, you can find us on the PPH webpage for YouTube. And you can join us at any time. Let's take it back to the other direction. Come on back to the center. Let's take the shoulder blades back and around as we just roll through one at a time. I like this playlist. Beautiful music provided by Fit Radio. Silver Sneakers provides a great format for you to follow in regards to chair yoga, and we want you to stay safe and enjoy it. Last 4, 3, 2, and reach the arms skyward. Good. Let's reach higher on one side than the other. And again. Let's bring those hands together. Drop them down into cactus pose. Tap the backs of your ears. That's a good way to find out where your head should be in space. Take them out. Rotate high and low. The only other piece of equipment that we're using today, other than a sturdy armless chair, is a yoga block. And if you don't have one, you could use a soup can that's quite large, or we can bring you one to your apartment. So you just have to call us at 8007 and we'll bring you one to your apartment to use until we resume classes in person. Let's reach across the body with just a little tilt, waking up the spine. This workout or this yoga presentation will be about 25 minutes. Last 2. And 1. Let's bring the hands to the knees and slowly open the chest. Seated cat and camel. Scoot up a little bit on your chair if you want to get a little more space for the mid-back to stretch. And depending on how flexible you are or how much you want to work this, you can really drop low into this. My caution for you is that if you have some osteoporosis or osteopenia that you don't flex forward hard from the waist. So this would be contraindicated or not recommended any lower than this, okay? So even if we do it, if it doesn't feel right for you or you have one of those diagnoses, I want you to avoid forward flexion past 45 degrees. Okay, nice job. Let's scoot forward on the chair and grasp the back of the chair. And you can get a little step forward with that one foot. Opening up the chest wall and breathing deep. This position of your arms should not feel uncomfortable in any way. So don't feel like you have to take them high. Just reaching back. Extension through the shoulder is very important, but this shouldn't feel painful. And then let's just take the opposite foot forward. Deepen the breath. And we're going to follow that with a little scoot back, wide stance. Place the forearm in a resting position on the leg as we let one arm arc over the body. You can also stay mostly upright if that feels uncomfortable, but you can drop in a little bit lower if you want. And we're going to take that to the other side with a deep cleansing breath. Let the breath link your poses together. All right, so we're going to come back to the first side, and you should have your yoga block. Where's mine? Rio. Yoga block next to you and available, okay? And again, if you don't have one, you can duplicate this pose just like we showed you. So I'm going to scoot back a little bit more in my chair and take that block onto the high end. Taking one foot in front of me, one foot out to the side. So look at this position here, okay? It's a great stretch for the hip. The arm's going to reach up again. There's no strain here. If you feel like you have any pain, you can always return to this position. I'm going to take that block a little bit lower because I want to go a little bit more into that stretch, but you can stay where you are. Oh, that rib position being stretched and open feels really great. Letting the arm arc nicely over the head, and if you want to, you can kick out that front leg and feel that transverse stretch. And slowly now we're going to come back to the center. Take the block with you. Push your hips to the back of the chair. Toes are mostly up in a wide straddled position and coming forward. Now, if this feels too low for you, or you have one of the conditions that I described earlier, you can stay here. You don't have to come any more forward than that. So remember, when it comes to exercise and to yoga stretches, we want you to get the rewards of the exercises without any compromisation. And if you are comfortable with that and you're okay, you can come a little bit lower on the block. If not, stay on the high end. And then we'll slowly come back into the lifted position. Take that block with you. Take it to the opposite side now. High end is probably best to start. Kick that leg out to the side. Let's get a nice opening of your hip there. Engage your core and keep your spine next to that chair back and slowly just arc over. This is such a great stretch. And think about that pinky finger reaching, really stretching down into the hip. I'm going to take my block a little bit lower. Listen to your body. That may be a little bit too much. And then lastly, let's kick that foot into the forward position. Nice job. Come on back to the center. Take that block with you. One more stretch for the hamstrings. Let's widen up your knees. Feet to the wide position. Glutes are back against the chair. Block comes forward, slowly drop down. And remember, the modification is just hands on the knees with a little bit of a stretch through the spine. And when you're ready, if you're ready, and you want to, you can take it down a little bit lower. Just an idea, certainly not a requirement. Back up. Okay, nice job. Now we're going to work on the Warrior Series, but before we start there, let's just do a couple kicks to wake up the lower legs. Try to flex the toe towards your chin and really open up the back of the knee. Anytime you're in a seated position for a long period of time, this is very much recommended, just to keep the blood flowing to the distal points or to the bottoms of the feet and the toes. Last set of 4. 3, make sure you're breathing. 2, and 1. Okay, so now we're going to get into the Warrior Series. So we're just going to rotate our body. You can take that block with you over that side. I want you to be mindful of how your hips feel in this position. So if you take that leg way back there, that may feel like too much work on the low back and the hip. So you can keep both of those knees at 90 degrees. I recommend also that you can hold on or keep one hand on the back of the chair and raise the hand that's closest to your front leg. You can see Kayla's kicking her back leg back a little bit more. If you're okay with that, you can take it into a further stretch. Crown of the head reaches up. There is no struggle. Allow the breath to guide you. Now, the option, and you got to be a little bit careful here if you're on the edge of that chair, is the second hand. So reach up with your second hand and rotate those pinky fingers towards each other. While the hands are lifted, I'd like you to keep the shoulders down and back. Nice job. Let's bring that down. Good work, everybody. Come on back to the center. Hands on the knees. Cat and camel. Now the back may feel more flexible. Maybe you can go for it a little bit more. And arms extend. Wiggle your fingers. Hands come out to the sides. And then let's rotate over and under. Okay, last one. Let's tap the backs of the ears just to remember where our head should be in space. Drive them out and really stretch through the palms. Now bring the thumbs together and turn those hands down. Draw the palms back. Take the hands to the sides of the body and bring it back. Okay, let's turn to the other side. Warrior position on the second side. So as you can see, I'm right on the edge of the chair, and if that makes you a little uncomfortable, keep one hand on that side of the chair. This knee is at 90 and 90, or you can kick it back a little bit more. Arm comes up. Even though the arm is lifted, the shoulder is down and relaxed. So the difference is from here, we don't want to be here. We want to keep that arm space, that shoulder blade nice and snugged into the low back or down towards the low back. Arms extend, opposite side if you want. Rotate the pinky fingers towards each other. Deepen your breath. Let's come on back to the center. And we'll face front again. And let's kick those legs out one at a time. Stretching hard through the heel and the back of the knee. following up the warrior position or the warrior series with just a nice twisting pose. Every yoga practice needs a combination of balance and twisting poses to wake up your spine. All right, so let's turn now and just rotate the torso without any arm position changes as in warrior. And if you want to, grasp the back of the chair. Deepen your breath. Come on back to the center. Arms extend. Interlace your fingers just a little. Shift to one side. You can always remember one hand is lighter than two. So if that's hard for you, just release one. And to the other side. Deep breath. Let's rotate again. Let's come on back to the center. Okay, so we're done with some of our seated things. We're going to do one more stretch for the low back before we get into standing, and then we'll stand for our last few. So let's bring one knee into your chest. We're going to stretch that low back. Hug that knee towards your chest. If you have any pain with the knee, you can always hug underneath it and just let that lower leg dangle. Or you can snug it up there pretty good. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, if you want to, you can extend that leg out. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. We can provide you with a strap that can help you stretch. You can hold on to the leg, or you can hold on to the bottom of your pants, whatever works for you. And let's take that leg across the body in figure 4. Sit nice and tall. Boy, it's been a while since we did this one, huh?
I feel this one.
Yeah. This is never a terribly comfortable pose anyway, but if you haven't been doing it and you've been sitting a lot, you're going to definitely feel that here. So just let the weight of the leg and the position, which is called the figure 4 stretch, just kind of let your body get used to that before you do any changes. And now let's slowly fold forward. The way you can assist with this is just holding on to the back of your chair and adding a little bit of that stretch forward. Again, you don't have to do the fold forward. This is just an addition if you are feeling under-challenged. All right, let's slowly bring that up. Let's replace that leg down. You can just kind of shake it out a little bit. Arms extended. Bring it down. Good, all right, other side. Bring that knee into your chest. You can circle out that foot and ankle in space. I think I forgot to tell you to do that on the other side, but hopefully you did. And make sure you go in both directions. Let's take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we'll extend that leg out in front of us. You can hold on to your pants leg, or we can give you a strap. We actually use old ties. The wellness department is amazingly efficient at repurposing. So, you might have noticed our mood lighting, which is Christmas lights. All right, great stretch there. Let's take that across in figure 4. Yowza, I'm feeling that one already. sit nice and tall. Try to let that hip relax. You don't need to advance this pose at all, but you do want to feel as if you have weight on both of those sits bones. This may be enough for you. You can flex that foot and get a little more out of this stretch. And for an additional stretch, you can grasp the back of the chair and fold forward. And we'll slowly come back into the lift. All right, everybody, nice job with that. Let's take a deep breath all the way in and up. Press through the palms. I want you to scoot your hands, bring your hands back and scoot yourself back. We're going to do one seated back bend in the chair. Now, it's really important that you do not push off the floor and lift the chair ever during your workout or during your yoga class, okay? You want to make sure that you're always safe. So the weight stays through the front side of the chair, the arms come up and out. Take a deep breath in and slight back bend with no push off the floor. And we'll come back up. Great job. All right, slowly now. I told you we'd watch the time. We're going to do about 3 to 4 minutes in standing, and then we'll close our practice. So when you're ready, I want you to practice scooting to the front of your chair, engaging your core and taking your nose over your toes to bring yourself into standing, okay? All right, let's come around to the side of the chair. I'm going to go this way, and we're going to turn the chair. So we worked on this in the last series, the last seated yoga class by Silver Sneakers that we brought to you. So we're just going to walk our way back. Hopefully we're still in frame. I'm going to move myself in just a little bit more. Push your tailbone towards the back of the space. Now, if you feel like this is too much of a stretch, what you can do is not drop your head. We want to keep this as safe for you as possible, and sometimes letting the head drop below those arms will make you feel a little dizzy, and we don't want that to happen. Now just push into one side, push into your right glute or your right hip, and then to the left. And one more time. Good, and let's come all the way back up. Nice job with that. Let's hold it here and take one leg out to the side. And the opposite arm comes up. So balance is very important. If you feel uneasy about taking any hands off of the chair, just hold on to the chair. What I want you to think about is ear over the shoulder, shoulder over the hip, core is engaged, glutes engaged. That's a lot to remember for standing on one leg. Breathe deep. Option for that second hand. All right, nice job. Let's do some empty coat sleeves and just swing it out. And last one. All right, let's come back to the center, standing on your second side. Kick that leg out to the side. You can always just rest on that toe, holding onto your chair. lifting and squeezing and trying to really activate this glute. Belly in, crown of the head reaches up, opposite arm comes up, or no arms going up at all. You can stay here. Hold this for 2 full breaths. Second hand comes up if you're willing to try for that. Kayla's going to give that a whirl. I know I won't be able to do it on this side. Good job. All right, nice work. Let's take that out. A couple empty coat sleeves. And this time I'm just going to wiggle my fingers in addition to that. Feels so good just to move and mobilize all of the joints in the body. Did you know that there's 620 muscles in the body? So we've been working on waking a lot of them up. Keep in mind, if you haven't been doing any activity and you start it, you may have some soreness a day or 2 after. Okay, last one. Let's turn the chairs. As little as noise as possible. Okay, place the hands on the chair. You can slowly walk yourself down. Starfish hands are under the shoulder. Bend both knees and just push into your glutes. Now let's straighten it back up again. So the same thing, widen up your feet a little bit and push into that right hip and your left. And then last time, walk your feet wider and more back. Bring your elbows or your forearms down to the chair. This is called Preserita. And just rock again, right hip, left hip. Great pelvis mobilizer, hip mobilizer, low back mobilizer. Push back deeply into your hips. Lift your toes if you'd like. Bend both knees. Good. Let's place the hands on the sides of the chair. Walk your feet back. And let's slowly come forward. I want you to be mindful that sometimes when you go from flexion to extension or to this position, after that last back bend position, or you may have some discomfort. So just go slowly. Shoulders are down, head is up. And then slowly press back. Push back into your heels. And slowly walk the hands back as we stand tall. Let's come behind the chair. Widen up your feet to about right to the legs of the chair. And we'll reach up and over. You can take the opposite arm across and hold on to the side of the chair if you want to. And let's switch to the other side. So it's almost like a scissoring motion. Deepen your breath. Let's bring the hands back to the center. You can keep one hand on the chair at all times if you want to, or you can take both hands into the sky. Interlacing your fingers. I will caution you that, especially in an older population, if you go into a back bend, you can feel a little disoriented. So I'm going to caution you to keep one hand on the chair and arc back. And then you can come back up and try the other side. Nice job, everybody. Let's have a seat. You did a great job today. We're going to bring our practice to a close. Always make sure that the chair is right behind you before you sit down. And let's take a deep breath in as we slowly close the eyes and expand the chest. Let's take a deep breath as the arms come in and up, gathering up a million stars and condensing that energy into a little orb. Drawing that light down into the darkest corners of your body's interior. Lighting you up so that you shine like the sun. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Let's place the thumbs over third eye center, and together we say Namaste. I respect the light that shines within you, and you respect the light that shines within me. And I'm so thankful that you could join us today. We wish you a really happy and healthy new year, and a wonderful afternoon from Maureen and Kayla from the Philadelphia Protestant Home.